Welcome. This is 1 hour of power, also known as the Power Hour. So we're practicing for 60 minutes with a fairly upbeat flow practice to build some strength. So start seated, whether that's cross-legged or sitting on your heels. Join your hands together. Inhale deeply. And then exhale all the way out. Throughout the practice, try to keep a rhythm, a calmness in your breath. Again, deep breath in. And exhale out. And then last one. Please open your eyes, lower your hands, and begin in downward facing dog position. Here in down dog, have your hands as wide as your shoulders. Look back to your feet. Have your feet at about hip distance apart. Bend your knees, tilt your sit bones up into the air, and actively push the hands down and forward. So both actions simultaneously. With your next inhale, move forward towards plank position. Here in plank pose though, lower your knees to the floor. Option to even lift your feet. You could cross them like an X. And then it's going to be 10 push-ups with the knees down. So lowering down and lifting up. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then push back to downward facing dog. So in general, yoga push-ups are elbows close to the side body, but not propping up the side body, which often happens, I see. And also only lowering to the height of your elbow. So halfway is halfway. It's not 80% of the way. On your next inhale, lift your right leg back behind you in the air. And then as you exhale, draw your knee in, hold, then swing your leg back again. Inhale. And exhale, knee in, hold. And last time, leg back. And then knee in, pause and hold. And step your foot forward between your hands, rise up and place your hands to your hips. Hi Flower Hannah 11, great to join us. Sink down lower into your front leg and then bring your hands in front of you, but hook your thumbs. This is like a shadow puppet, but with your thumbs hooked, bend your elbows out to the side and then try to pull your hands away from each other. So your arms get stronger, and then maintain the strength and start to stretch your arms up into the air. It's very similar to DDP, setting up for the diamond cutter. You can do that by just bringing the index fingers together as well. And then when you're really ready, you can then just like quickly lower the hands down. But as you pull the hands away from each other, feel the strength in your arms as you lean back to your edge. One last breath in, and then turn to the floor. Bring your hands down, bang! Step back to plank pose. Lift your chin, and then lower down halfway. Lower your pelvis, point your toes, and inhale, lift for cobra position. Pause and hold for a few cycles of breath here to savor and enjoy your cobra. And then push back, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your left leg back behind you. And exhale, knee in towards you. Again, lift your left leg back. And then knee in. And one last time, leg back. And then knee in, pause and hold. And use that core strength to step your foot forward. Rise up, hands just alongside you. Allow your arms to dangle just to focus on the strength of your legs. So it's a combination of strength and stretch in your legs. Look forward and then cross your thumbs, the non-dominant way that you make shadow puppets. Bend your elbows out to the side. Pull your hands away from each other so your arms get stronger. And then begin to extend your arms up into the air. Sink in a little bit lower. Push the arms straighter. Look forward. Start to lean back. Maintain the tone. Stay strong in your legs. Make your breath relaxed and even. One last inhale. And then touch your hands down. Step back to plank pose. Pause here at the top. And then lower down halfway or all the way. Again, lift for your back bend. And push back, downward facing dog. Again, come forward, plank pose. Knees down, lift your feet, cross your shins the other way. If you don't want your knees down, you don't have to. 10 more push-ups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then lower all the way to the floor. Reach your arms alongside you, and then lift everything but your hips away from the floor. My view is if you can't do 10 push-ups with your knees off the ground, you probably shouldn't even try chaturanga with your knees off the ground. And you'll have to just build the strength by doing push-ups with the knees down first. And I can tell you, I'm feeling the effects of 10 push-ups with the knees down. That's about it for me. Looking for someone else to take over. Lift up, one last inhale. Lower your feet, keep your chest lifted. Use your hands now. Push to rise up higher. And then press back, downward facing dog. On an inhale, step this time, your right foot forward. No need to swing the leg back. And then on an inhale, rise up, float the arms into the air. Just lean a little bit side to side, just to get a bit of a side body stretch. And then join your hands together and twist to your right. So my preference is to make a fist with the lower hand and wrap the other hand over top. And I actually really enjoy bringing the back knee down just to emphasize the stretch component of the back leg and savor the twist. So you're always welcome if you want to spread your wings or go for a bind to make things more challenging. And that's what's nice about the practice, is that the more that you practice, the more you recognize when poses are beneficial for you or when they become a bit of a detriment to you. This one's going to be a transition here. So look to the floor, lift your back knee if you lowered it, and then as smooth as you can, push off of the back foot, lift it into the air. So slow winds, slowly bring your foot forward to meet your right foot. Both feet eventually together. Twist to the right, pause and hold. You can even do mime in a box, hands out to the side. And then on an inhale, untwist, rise all the way up, stretch your arms high. Then cup the back of your head and even lean back slightly. Whoa. Okay, and then come up. Lean over to your left foot and grab hold of your right foot from the outside. Pull the foot up, but push your foot down into your hand. And then open your knee out to the side while keeping your hips forward. So it's not just a full body turn like that, but just the leg goes out to the side. And then lift your foot to the height of your knee. Pull your foot back and push your foot into your hand. Work your leg straighter, but also your foot higher at the same time. If you have the space to counterbalance with your arm out to the side, you can always use a wall nearby just as extra support. Okay, then bend your knee, bring the leg in front of you, and hold on to your foot with both hands. There's a challenging way to hold with a cross at your forearms, but that one's if you're a little bit more flexible. It might be nice to bend your standing leg a little bit and then extend your lifted leg forward. From there, push your standing leg straighter. Option to bow in and round slightly, taking your forehead towards your shin. Hold for 3, 2, and 1, and then lower your foot down. Pause. Just step back so you have space to eventually go for crow pose here. Bend your knees and float your arms up in the air. Once you get good at crow pose, you can start to become, I don't want to say complacent, so I'll say the word complacent, in the sense that you just kind of go in it and hold the position. So even if you're not lifting up into handstand, think about that where you pull your knees in and you're puffing your whole body up, trying to lift the hips up higher as you press down with your hands. So lower your hands down, lift your heels, bend your elbows, put your shins to your upper arms, and then lean forward into your hands to lift one foot and then the other foot up. And then this is where I can just start to sink down and be complacent, and instead pull the knees in, push with the hands, try to pull the knees up. The arms actually sunk too far to begin with. And up to you if you want to jump back to chaturanga, or you can just step back, plank, lower down, lift for your back bend, and then push back, downward facing dog. Here in down dog, lift your heels, and on an exhale, drop your heels to the right so your feet turn to the left. You can rise onto left fingertips or even reach the left arm long, kind of like a side angle arm, but with a nice arch. And then lower your hand, lift your heels, drop your heels over to the other side. Heels go to the left, feet turn to the right. Right hand on fingertips, or you can reach up and over. And then hands down, come forward, plank position. Again, you can keep your knees up. You can do 0 or knees down. Lift your feet, cross your shin. 10 more. 1, 2. You could do it on fists too. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And back to downward facing dog. Big breath in. And big breath out. And just one more cycle of breath just in case someone is a little bit behind. It's just nice to play catch up. Not like with Heinz ketchup. Step your left foot forward, rise up, floating the arms up again. Just a nice little lean from side to side, stretching the side of the ribs, the side of the waist. Then join your hands together, tilt forward, and twist to your left. Again, you could have your back knee down, if you are content with the strength of your legs, just to focus on the twist or the stretch of the back leg. And the stretch of the back leg is the same stretch of the back leg in splits position, Hanumanasana. And that's Hanuman right there. Kind of doing that pose too. He's like holding his club. And then like this. And then looking pretty serious. Okay, if you lowered your back knee, lift your back knee. And then as slow as you can, lean forward. Lift your back foot first. And then just watching me slow. Not touching. And then feet together, twist to the left. And this is where I can actually do my minute box hands, literally to the wall, If I took a photo side view, I could just rotate it 90 degrees and then I'm doing side crow. So much easier. I could like go on one fingertip and be like, whoa, really impress everyone. Okay, on an inhale, untwist, reach your arms up into the air, full stretch, and then join your hands together in front of your heart. Lean over to your right foot. I'm just going to make space for myself and grab hold of the outside of your foot with your arm on the inside of your knee. Again, notice the difference between when you just turn from your lower leg versus actually opening the hips out, and then lift your foot to the height of your knee, pull the foot back, and then kick the foot out, counterbalance. You can go thumb, index finger together for a nice little mudra. Kick, 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 kick. Woo! Ankle crack. Okay, then bend your knee if you did get it straight. Bring your leg forward and then hold your left foot. Again, if you go cross, it's a little bit trickier. Or if you can do like a double cross. Ooh, double cross. Now, standing leg, bent a little bit and extend your lifted leg straighter. Then push your standing leg straighter. Option to round in slightly. This one's often called bowing sage. Bowing. Going in lower. 3, 2, 1. Rebend your knee and then lower your foot. Move your feet over to the left side of your mat with your feet together. Then bend your knees and twisted chair position again. Except this time, get low, low, low. You can lift your heels, bend your knees deeper, and then place your hands down. So some learn side crow by using, in this case, the right elbow under the right hip to lean forward to lift up. So it's not that there's anything wrong with that. It's just you end up essentially putting your body into this position. And you're like, hi. So it really narrows things down. So instead, another option is to hook just with your left arm and then have your right arm totally free. And then I see this a lot where people are like, I can't do this pose, no way. So you actually have to walk the feet way to the outside of the left hand, get the hips higher, bend your elbows, and then lean your weight to the right hand, the back hand in this case. And then it's side crow. And my limiting factor is actually the elbow into the outer thigh. It just starts to get uncomfortable. Okay, then just return to center, rise all the way up, give your body a little bit of a shake out. And before the second side, we'll just do a tree pose. So place your foot to your upper inner thigh. Just give the arms a little bit of a rest. And then join your hands together in front of your heart. So I often teach with this poster of poses close by, and I actually broke it into 3 different segments. I literally cut it apart so I could travel with it and fold it. I usually only have the first and second syllabus available because the third one is so crazy. It just involves like leg over your head. But one of them is tree pose where you turn it into a back bend. So that's one that I can do. So it's just thumb to your sternum and start to lean it back. Lean it back. Lean it back. I can see the back wall now. Oh, and then I hit my edge. Okay, and then switch sides. Balance on your right foot. Place your left foot to your upper inner thigh. The other pose I can do in the level 3 syllabus is the very last pose of the whole poster, which is Shavasana. And I often will get up in the middle of Shavasana when I'm a student taking class. And I usually just have a look around just to make sure that I am the most relaxed in Shavasana. Thumbs to your sternum and then start to lean it back. You could even bend your standing leg a little bit. Look to the ceiling, maybe to the wall behind you, maybe at the floor behind you. And go to the edge where you almost bail, but don't actually bail. And then, unless your name's Christian, Join your feet together near the right side of your mat. You'll just get a different view, more the backside view for this one. Bend your knees, sink down lower. You can lift your heels and then twist over towards the left. Okay, and then go hands down. Prop up the outside of your left thigh with your right elbow. There's no chance of me lifting in the pose from here. So I have to move the feet forward and then lift the hips up, bend the elbows and lean over towards the left hand to lift the feet. Oh, I actually touched my face on the block and I was like, well, my butt was the last thing that touched the block. That's gross. And then I fell out. Okay, and then feet down. Slowly rise your way back up. We did it. Rising to stand, big breath in, reach up all the way, full stretch. And then exhale, dive forward, touch your fingers down. Halfway lift, lengthen your spine. And then plant your hands, step, or you could hop back through a flow, going from plank to chaturanga, lifting for your back bend. And then push back, downward facing dog. On an inhale, slide your right shin forward for pigeon prep pose, but it'll be an upright pigeon. So have a look over your left leg. Make sure that the leg is parallel to the long edge of your mat. Walk your fingers back so that you can be upright. Pull your knees towards each other and then float your arms up into the air. You could cup the back of your head to lean it back, or you could put fists to the top of your head, holding strong. So it's not a relaxed pigeon. Unless this relaxes you, then it is a relaxed pigeon. 3, 2, 1. And then from here, just have the back foot come in a little bit so it gives you leverage to free your right foot and step it to the outside of your right hand. Keep your left hand down, lift your back foot and reach behind you. Grab hold of the foot with your right hand. So twisted thigh stretch, pull your heel in towards your butt. Twist fully to the right, move your shoulder back. If you want to come down onto your elbow, you're welcome to. Once you come to the elbow, you could drop your left hip lower, twist further, lift your chin. Instead of looking to the ceiling, you can lift your chin and look towards the front of your space, or my space. Whatever happened to MySpace? No one ever talks about the person who created MySpace. Okay, and then release your foot and step it back to plank pose. Again, knees up or knees down, anywhere from 0 to 10 push-ups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 push-ups. Press back, down dog. Join when ready. And then from there, slide left shin forward. Pigeon poser, second side. So right leg in line with the long edge of the mat. In the past, I used to always make people tuck the toes, but if you're a pointer, you're always welcome to point. Kind of my favorite things to do if you meet like a stranger, just point to them. Nobody really likes being pointed at. Pull the knees in towards each other, puff up your chest. Option to reach your arms up, look forward, full breath. You could always cup the back of your head and lean it back slightly. Oftentimes pigeons at the end of practice, this is still pretty early on, not even the halfway point yet. Okay, and then touch your hands down. Just helps to make the movement easier to move your back foot and knee in, and then putting weight into your hands. Step your left foot forward to the outside of your hand, and then right hand down, lift your back foot, go hand to knee, or you can reach behind you, grab hold of your foot. Wearing shorts with this Lululemon mat. I do not get any money for saying Lululemon mat. But I like this one because it's super sticky for the hands. I'm that awkward guy that's got like sweaty hands, which is really gross. However, I am also that awkward guy with like leg and arm hair, so it just like rips my leg hair to shreds. The downsides of it. Okay, and then turn to the floor, bring both hands down, and push it back to downward facing dog. A little bit of a break from the push-ups. Instead, side plank position. So feet together, move halfway forward to plank, and then turn your feet to the left. Balance on your right hand, lift your left arm up into the air, pause and hold. Here, you're always welcome to modify by lowering the bottom knee, holding strong. Not a super long hold, but just enough to strike fear and panic. And then immediately switching over to the other side. Balance on your left hand, lift the right arm up, use the legs, push your feet down, get your hips up high, getting stronger. To me, what power is just a little bit more emphasis on building the strength in the arms. I'm sure you're feeling that already. Turn to the floor, hands down. Immediately step your right foot forward between your hands. Turn your left foot to the left. Keep your right hand on the floor outside your foot, left hand to your hip. Setting up for side angled position. Breathing deeply. Lift your chin. Look forward. An option to stay here, or you can swing your arm alongside your ear and actively reach. I was wondering what that was. Something just like flew in the air in front of me and fell to the ground. It turns out it was just extra leg and arm hair that had fallen off. Actively reach and extend. Sink down lower with your front thigh. And then we're going to move into half moon pose from here. So either push off your back foot or step in. I'm just going to demo the push off. So keeping the foot way back, moving the right hand forward and push off to lift up. So different ways to make it more intense. Some like to do the hand to the heart. Make sure the heart is still breathing, that you have a heart. Also, the other way is hand flatter to the floor, like you're getting ready to do a press handstand. That one's really intense for the stretch of the right leg. Like I literally can't even get my right leg straight. I try. Option as well to bend your left knee and grab hold of your foot. Kick your foot back behind you for a thigh stretch as well. Drinking sugarcane in the moonlight pose. Ardha Chandra Chapasana. Okay, just for the sake of all the joy of those who are holding the foot. If you're not holding the foot, you kind of just have to rise up and meet us there. But slowly rise up to dancer's pose. And I always wondered why it was dancer's pose, because sometimes I would want to like start doing this stuff in dancer's pose. But it's just kick your foot back, tilt forward, lift your back knee, hold strong. You can bend your standing leg just a little bit. I'm impressed I didn't fall on that one. And then 3, 2, 1. Point your back toes. Bring the top of your foot down. And then slowly lower your knee down. With your back toes pointed, pull the foot forward so you grip onto your mat. And then lift your front heel and lift your front foot for one shin balance. You're welcome to go out to the side. You're welcome to test. Ooh. Hold on to the foot like we did earlier. And then try to lift the shin. Oh, I fell onto the wall. I tried my best. There we go. Oh, I fell into the wall again. Okay, then bring your leg back, bring your hands down, step back, lower down halfway or all the way. Lift for your back bend and push back to downward facing dog. As before, come forward to plank pose, knees up or knees down, hold, or do anywhere up to 10 push-ups. 5, 9, 10. Ooh. Push back, downward facing dog. That'll wake you up in the morning. And then in downward facing dog, step your left foot forward. Turn your right foot out. Pause with your hand down and right hand to your hip. And don't underestimate just going into a pose like this, getting into that deep bend of the front knee, the square position, 90 degrees, and then just staying there and breathing. It becomes a warm-up for the muscles, but also a pretty deep stretch as well. You can pull the feet actively towards each other, twist to the right, and then reach your arm long across the room. Like there's a nice cold comfort ice cream waiting for you. Ice cream. Actively stretch and reach. All those extra calories burned for treats. Stretch, lift, and then moving to half moon right away. So can you push off of the back foot? It's hard because it's such a long stance that I had you take, but pushing off to lift up for half moon. So I see advanced practitioners, not necessarily ones who can do the craziest poses, but the ones who are so mindful and purposeful in their movement between poses. Because there are some poses that it really just comes down to your own abilities in your body. But anyone can transition mindfully or unmindfully, dismindfully. I don't know the word. Move your shoulder back. Option to go hand flatter. Option to hover. We're going to eventually rise up to dancer pose. Feel like I've got the pressure on me here. Again, if you weren't holding your foot, just slowly come up. But adding the dancer move. Got it. Kick your foot back. You can use your right hand forward as the counterbalance. Lean forward, kick back all the way. Lift, lift, lift. Okay, and then point your toes. Reach your arms forward. Bring the top foot down. Then your knee down. Sit back towards the right heel. Pull the toes forward. Lift your front heel. Lift your front foot. Pause, one shin balance. You can hold on to the foot to get the balance. And then kick the leg out. Takes so much awareness. You can't do this one for free. You have to pay so much attention. Okay, and then bring your leg back, hand down. Tuck your toes, plank, lower down halfway or all the way. Lift for your back bend and push back, downward facing dog. Again, come forward, plank, knees up or knees down, and 10 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And push it back. Down dog. And then lower your knees down, either towards the middle or front-ish of your mat. And up to you to have your big toes together and sit back on your heels. Or you could have your feet wider and sit to the space between your feet. And I'm showing this, but then I actually can't do that, so I need to sit on a block to make that happen. That's called hero's pose. When you sit on the shins completely, that's thunderbolt pose. And then when you have the knees out wide but the feet together, that one's saddle pose. So pick and choose. And it'll be about, once we're set in it, about a minute. So you could stay here to breathe, or you could just lean back onto your hands. If you're on a block, this is probably about as far as you should go. You probably can go further, but a good teaching is just because you can doesn't mean you should. But some might go down onto their elbows, others might lower down onto their shoulders, even the head down. You can picture me on my back on the ground holding the elbows. I have some students who then go into like wheel pose and then hold their feet, and it's just crazy. I'm literally just asking you if you want to just sit. So 1 minute begins. It'll be just a minute to breathe in silence, beginning now. That's 1 minute. So slowly come up from your back, if you were on your back, eventually to your elbows, and then to your hands, and then pushing your way all the way up. Now, 1 minute, except it's going to be forearm plank position. So step your feet back and get yourself ready. Got my eyes on a clock, 1 minute going. Holding strong. Remember how nice that 1 minute of silence was? Oh dear. Oh dear. Actively push your elbows down. You could interlace your fingers or go hands in prayer, up to you. Breathe deeply. The world record is nearly 10 hours. We're at 30 seconds. Think about your favorite TV show. Not like one of those special ones that only has like 6 episodes, but like prime time, olden days. 10 hours, that's pretty well an entire season of like a sitcom. Last 10 seconds. Then imagine watching an entire season of a sitcom just as you do forearm plank. 3, 2, 1. Lower your knees first, and then your hips. Whew. Sphinx pose, point your toes. Look forward. Enjoy the stretch for your belly. And then bring your left forearm in front of you. Reach back with your right hand to grab hold of your ankle. You can kick your foot back, or you could hold on to your foot. If you want the intense thigh stretch, it's hold your foot from the big toe side and then start to pull the heel down as you pivot your hand. Pivot the hand so you point your elbow up and then look forward. You could also hold the foot with the inner crease of the elbow. Kind of queen wave style. Hello, Harry, what happened? What happened? This time last year, Harry was living here in Victoria. Well, like, sort of Victoria. Near Victoria Airport. Okay, and then release that side and reach back to grab hold of your left foot or ankle. And again, you could hold big toe side, and then start to pull the heel in. I actually really like that holding the foot through the inner crease of the elbow version. Very regal. Steven Regal. Okay, and then release your foot. Now, up to you to tuck your toes under and lift your knees, or keep your knees down, maybe even lift your feet. Hands alongside your chest, so not under the shoulders, but more fingers nipple-ish area. Elbows over the wrists, shoulders back, and then stay, or push up. That's 1. And then go for 10. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Not making friends today. Back to down dog. And then in down dog, step your right foot forward. Lower your back knee down. Move your weight towards your back heel as you slide your front foot forward. And slide, it might mean just like slowly crawl the right foot forward. I got the double blocks here for half Hanuman. Half Hanuman is hips over the back knee or even a little bit further back. And then extending the front leg forward. One thing you could do is literally put your foot up against a wall to push your foot into something, so you have an active action where you can tone the back of your leg. Inhale, lengthen your spine, and then exhale and bow forward. I think we're up to 70 right now. Okay, to switch legs, you don't even have to go through a flow. You can just pull your foot back and then step your other foot forward. It's a little easier with the blocks. Wiggle the left foot. Again, the stickier mat is going to create a bit more of a challenge. And then push the foot forward, lift and lengthen. And extend your legs straighter. Okay, and then back to all fours. We're going to go to full Hanuman, but option to go through a flow or getting up to 80. I'm going to try with knees lifted this time. I've been knees down the whole time. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Chaturanga, 10. And then back to down dog. Right foot forward. I use the blocks just to give myself a bit more space. Get the right leg long, and then you can even slide it even more forward. So working the back leg straighter now. Up to you to point your toes or to tuck the back toes. Try your best to keep the leg and foot in line with the long edge of the mat. And then pause and hold. And it was the year 2013, it was the year of the splits for me. I was going to do what I could to do the full splits, and I really went for it. And it's my left leg when it's in the back, the position I'm in right now, where it's more flexible but also more susceptible to injury. And I dealt with just like a pull of the groin of the left leg for most of the year, realizing that sometimes you just might not be able to do the full thing. It's what helps keep me humble, the most humble person I know. And then slowly make your way out. Again, if you want to do a flow, go for a flow. or just go to all fours and then come upright and switch legs. So left leg forward, pushing the leg, looking forward, breathing deeply. Okay, and then slowly make your way out. And the transition will actually be from all fours position. So just tuck your toes, turn your knees to the right, reach your left arm long, and then roll all the way onto your back. Once you're on your back, push with your feet, lift your hips up for bridge pose. You can prop your hands under your hips. The body should be pretty warm at this point if you'd rather go up for wheels. So you can go hands beside the ears, lift to the top of your head, move your hands closer to your feet, plug your arm bones back into your shoulder sockets and lift up. I like to lift the heels just to have a little bit more space. And then slowly tuck your chin, come down, or just lower down from bridge. Again, lift your hips up or lift yourself up for wheel. Also, if you're in bridge, you might use a block or something to prop your hips up with. And then the option here this time is to bring one knee into your chest and then extend your leg up into the air. And then bend your knee, lower your foot down, and switch sides. Bring your other knee in, and then extend your leg up. And then lower your foot, come down for a rest. If your hips are on a block for bridge, you could always just lower the block, but you don't necessarily need the rest per se. And then just one more opportunity for wheel pose, hands beside the ears and lift up. You can go one-legged or even one-armed this time if that's something that you play around with. If you're doing that bridge where you lift one leg up, then the other leg, you can actually lift both legs up if you're on a block. If you're in regular bridge, that's not a good idea. But the block and lifting both legs up is just a modified legs up the wall position. Okay, and then lower either your feet down or come all the way down from wheel. Join the bottoms of your feet together, open your knees out, making a diamond shape with your legs. Then you can make a diamond shape with your arms and a diamond shaped with your fingers as well up overhead. And then now hold the outside of your knees, bring your knees in, roll over to your left, just slowly lift your way up to a seated position. And then from the seated position, I like to just use a block for some seated poses, but pull your left foot under your right leg so that your heel is to your outer right hip. Lift your right foot up and over your left leg for Ardha Matsyendrasana. And then this one can turn into a bind or a hook of the elbow. I like to just wrap the arm around and turn it into a gentler twist. Okay, and then just counter twists to the opposing direction and then switch sides. So it's right foot under the left leg with your knee pointing forward, both sit bones down, and then left foot up and over. And the reason there, especially on this side, if I don't have a block, I end up just leaning way over to the side like that. And then make your pick, wrapping your arm or hooking your arm, twisting from right to left. Okay, and then turn to center. Extend your legs forward, but we'll say wide-ish. And then hinge forward between your legs for Upavista Konasana. So just wide-legged forward fold. And it might be that you keep your hands behind your hips and sit upright like that. It's okay to have your knees slightly bent. Then turn over your right leg and bow forward over the right leg. And come up and go over to the other side, bowing over your left leg. Okay, and then hold underneath your knees. Bring your legs closer together. I'm just going to face forward again. And then hinge forward. Just seated forward fold, Paschimottanasana. So it's power yoga, which means that the emphasis is on more intensity. So of course you're always welcome to finish class with legs up the wall, especially if you have a blank wall like I've got here. You can go for a reclined twist, or you can finish with, I'll say crunches. I'm just not a big fan of sit-ups. I think that can actually bug your back a bit. But we'll go mild, medium, and spicy at 50, 100, and 150 in terms of crunches before Shavasana. So up to you. You have choices. You do not have to do the crunches, but make your way onto your back and then begin when you are ready. 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to go for 8, 9, 10, 150, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. So that's our first set. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 100. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13,
14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 150. Oh my God. Final resting pose. You've earned it. Okay, take a big breath in. And big breath out. Start to move your head side to side. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Option to reach your arms up and over. Oh, crack, crack. Stretch. And then roll over to your right side. And then slowly push your way up to a tall seated position. Please join your hands together in front of your heart and take a moment to appreciate the charge, the fire, the electricity that is flowing through your body, through your cells, through your blood, through your muscles, through your fascia, your bones. That is the meaning of power, to make you feel more powerful. Namaste. Thanks, friends. Thanks for sticking it out 1 hour.